Well, Sir Keir Starmer gave a speech this morning. He said that Labour is on the side of the National Trust and the Royal National Lifeboat Institution as he accuses the Tories of waging war on charities and civic society. Have a listen.
Waging a war on the proud spirit of service in this country isn't leadership. It's desperate, it's divisive, it's damaging. And it comes to something when the Tories are at war with the National Trust. That's what happens when politics of self-preservation prevail over commitment to service.
Now, Phil, we should clarify what it means about the Tories being at war with the National Trust, an institution that we all hold dear. I have my membership. He's talking about the fact that some exhibits at the National Trust were very, how do we phrase it? Some people would use the word woke.
Well, and what they've done, if you go into a lot of National Trust houses, they've got a great big history about the colonial past of the owner of the house. Some of these exhibits are a result of colonial trade. Ridiculous, frankly ridiculous, and it's provoked big problems in the National Trust. There's people try to get on the board to challenge all this. It is wokery. And
the National Trust would say, we want to put that into some sort of historical context, and we want to explain how in 2024 making your money out of slavery might be frowned upon.
And do you remember there was the row about the National Trust volunteers being required to wear the rainbow flags on some
pride badges?
Pride badges, and they said we don't want to, and they shouldn't have to. Why should they? That's the wokery that the Tories have been attacking, but Keir Starmer thinks is fine.
Well, joining us now from Westminster is our political correspondent Katherine Forster. Good morning, Katherine. What else did Sir Keir Starmer have to say this morning?
Yes, good morning, Andrew and Bev. To be fair to Keir Starmer, although obviously those comments are going to get a lot of pickup, that was only a very small section of a speech that went on for some 10 to 15 minutes. He was speaking to faith leaders, community leaders and charities in London, giving a couple of messages, really. One, paying tribute to people who volunteer, who give their time to the community, saying what a huge role they play and how essential that work is, and the work of charities and church groups and so on. Pointing out, like the Trussell Trust, for instance, excuse me while I put my teeth back in, giving 1 million food parcels this winter, and also saying that Labour wants to encourage, called it a society of service, trying to paint a hopeful picture going forwards, and saying that it's part of Labour's plans for getting Britain's future back. That's their slogan. You're going to hear it again and again and again. The other thing that was going on, of course, is it's not far till the election. He was taking a pop at the Conservatives over and over again, saying they had a leader that said there was no such thing as society. Then they had David Cameron talking about the big society, but then austerity came along and he said we ended up with a poor society, saying basically that the Conservatives have been all about the individual, that we've had chaos over the last 14 years, and saying that Labour can offer something different. So certainly it will have gone down well in the hall for its intended audience. Lots of well-meaning, sounds fabulous. Of course, putting it into practice, a little bit different, but broad brushstrokes from Sir Keir Starmer this morning.
OK, thank you, Katherine. He's being a little ingenuous on that Margaret Thatcher.
That is outrageous. I'm just thinking out, because it's said again and again and again with Mrs Thatcher. What she actually said about society, she said, we've gone through a period where too many children and people have been given to understand, and my God, they think it now. I have a problem. It's the government's job to cope with it. Or I have a problem. I'll go and get a grant to cope with it. I'm homeless. The government must house me. And so they are casting their problems on society. Who is society? There's no such thing. There are individual men and women. There are families. And no government can do everything.
Yeah, that was the
People have got to look after themselves.
And it was an interview with, I think, Woman's Own magazine or something, wasn't it?
And she's always misrepresented on that. It drives me nuts.
When she says, because she's saying effectively when you say there's no such thing as society, she meant it's taxpayers.
Yes.
It's your money that pays for things, not this nebulous idea
and
of
get
society.
off your backside and sort some of your problems out yourself. It's not the government's job to do everything. I wish people would follow that advice today, because too many do, because ever since the pandemic, hand out. How much? How much are you giving me?